Okay, so as I was saying, sorry, there was something on my back. Okay, yeah.
Get away, nigga, get away. I ain't try to hear what a nigga say. Headed for the top, I ain't know how to stop till the world go pop. I've been steady watching these fools talking shit like it's a daily news. Beefing niggas got petty moves, and I make them lose fatty juice. Nigga, yeah, on a mission, like I'm flying to the moon, dog.
Okay, welcome back to another video. My name is Linda. In this video, I'm going to be talking a little bit about the cost of living as an international student in Vancouver. As you guys know, I've been in Vancouver for about 3 or 4 years studying, and I just graduated, so I thought I'd do a little video just to break down some of the expenses that you might come across as an international student. Before we get into the video, as usual, please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment and share. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for supporting the channel, and I really appreciate your support. So to start us off, I wanted to first list some of the primary expenses that I think if you're an international student you will have to pay these expenses whether you like it or not. And then secondly, I'll then go through a budget for an average student in Vancouver, and then we will also look at an example of how much I was paying when I was a student. But before we actually get into the video, I just want to say two things. Firstly, I'm using natural lighting, guys, and if at some point I look brown and then I look red and then I look brown again and then I look yellow, I don't know, just like bear with me. I'm not using my usual ring lights because I just wanted to try to use the natural light. And also, you never get a lot of sunny days in Vancouver, so it's a great opportunity to test it out. And so also because of that, I'm not using my ring light, so my tripod is also on the side. I'm using my front camera on my phone, so the quality might not be as good, so just keep that in mind and just bear with me. Okay, so what are the primary expenses to look out for if you're an international student in Vancouver? Firstly, before I even get into that list, I just want to clarify that Canada is a very huge country, and so what I may be speaking of might be very different from someone else who is also studying in Canada but lives, say, on the East Coast. So keep that in mind, because even if someone also was living on the West Coast, which is where Vancouver is, they might still have different living costs that they have to pay up. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so the first thing on the list is rent. Obviously, as a student, you're either going to live on campus or you're going to live off campus. If you ask me, I think I would recommend living off campus because it's cheaper. But I will say for sure, when I first arrived, I lived on campus for I think a year and a half, and then once I felt comfortable and had met other people and knew other people who were living off campus, and they seemed like it was working out for them, that's when I also decided to move off campus. But definitely living off campus is cheaper. The second expense that you're going to have to look out for is public transit. Specifically because I studied at SFU, Simon Fraser University, where a lot of the students commute. They do have housing options. Like I said, I lived on campus before, but if you want to commute, you're going to have access to the public transit system, which I will explain a bit later. And then the third one is food. Obviously, it's cheaper if you cook for yourself, but if you can also order food or sign up for a meal plan, or if you live off campus, then you could sign up for the dining service on your campus. And then number 4 is a phone plan. So you're definitely going to need a phone plan as a student, and the good thing is there's different phone plans that are available with different features, and so it's up to you to choose a phone plan that you think is suitable A, for your lifestyle, and 2, gives you the best for the money that you're paying on a monthly basis. And then number 5, which is actually a very important expense that, to be honest, I was not prepared for it, but obviously you quickly adjust to it, is medical insurance. So in BC, which is the province that Vancouver is in, you're definitely going to have to pay a monthly fee for your medical insurance, because the healthcare system here is public, and so everyone is expected to chip in, so that whenever you need any basic healthcare, you can always just go to a pharmacy and get some help. And then the next point is entertainment. Obviously it depends. If you're not that type of person, maybe you wouldn't need to think about adding entertainment as an expense on your budget. But I do think every person has at least one of the 3, either an Amazon Prime account or a Netflix account or a Shopify account, unless you're using someone else's account, because you can, but that's definitely an expense to think about. So entertainment. And then another expense that I was not so prepared for was doing laundry. If you live off campus, you might find that you have to pay to get your laundry washed, and you also have to pay to dry your laundry. So usually it's like a machine, and the machine won't work or start washing unless you insert money in it. It's usually like $2, I think that's how much I spent when back in the day, when I was like still in first year and was paying for my laundry. So those are like the top primary expenses that I think you should think about. Obviously this is not set to stone. You should definitely add your own things, whatever else you have to think about. For example, if you're new and it's your first time coming to Canada, you're definitely going to probably have to figure out bedding, utensils. But I feel like those things are obviously things that you can start thinking about once you've settled in. I'm hoping that this video would just give you clarity on like what are the expenses that a lot of people don't mention, but once you arrive here, you find that you actually have to pay for these things. So what I also did was I tried to like put together a student budget for an average international student who's living in Vancouver. And I just tried to put together the different numbers for the different primary expenses that I just mentioned. So the first one is rent. I think on average student housing will cost about $900. And when I say $900, this is like maybe a basic basement suite, which is like you have access to your amenities, you have access to a kitchen, and maybe the landlord is living upstairs. Most students usually start off there, but obviously if you can afford something a bit fancier and probably more expensive, like be my guest, like you can definitely do that. And then I had food, and I put $200 for food, assuming that you would cook the food for yourself, so it wouldn't be that expensive. I do think it will cost more if you're ordering takeaways on a daily. And then I put down for a phone plan $50, because on average that's usually how much it costs to get like a basic phone plan. And a basic phone plan is usually like a phone plan that will give you access to data. So there's a data plan, and then maybe unlimited texting, unlimited calls, and whatever else that you find interesting. The good thing with the phone plans is there's a range of them, and so it just depends on what kind of features you want to put together to create the phone plan that you can afford. And then, as I mentioned, there's the medical services fee. It's called a health fee now, but on a monthly basis you're expected to pay $75 as an international student in BC. And yeah, it is what it is. It's really expensive, because when I first arrived I think it was $37.50. Yeah, it was $37.50. And then earlier this year they just doubled it up to $75. Not sure why, but that's definitely a cost to keep in mind. And then I also have, as I mentioned, transit. Like if you'll be commuting, especially if you're studying at Simon Fraser University, you will need a campus card. Where is my campus card? Okay, I forgot my campus card. I'm gonna go grab it and then I'll be back. So as I was saying, for your transit, you're going to need a campus card, which is a card that looks like this. And basically you would tap this card to get into the bus and to get into the SkyTrain. And for you to tap this card, you need to load it with money. And the amount that I put down is 131. That's if you want to have access to 2 zones. So how it works is this card gives you access to different zones that the transit company has sort of mapped out, and with about $131 per month, you can have access to 2 zones. You could also have access to 3 zones, but that's probably going to be more expensive than the 130. But if you're an international student, from my understanding, you will have to sign up to get this card, and then you will have to sign up to get it connected to your university or college, and then you'll be charged a discounted fee every semester. And so you don't really have to worry about the 130. But I'm putting it out there because if you're not a student, say for example you took the summer off and you still needed to get around, because you're not a student, you don't qualify for the discounted price, so you will have to pay the 130 something or even more if you want to do the 3 zone payment. So this is definitely cost that you should keep in mind. And then I just wanted to show you guys the give me a sec, I need to cover my numbers. So I just wanted to show you guys, don't know how to show you this is so uncomfortable, but this is the health fee card. So you'll get that when you sign up for your medical services premium plan. And so you'll get the card, and this card can be used to get access to basic health supplies. So if you go to a pharmacy, they're actually going to ask you, can you show us your MSP card? So it's very important. Those 2 cards I'd say are very important. And so if you total up all those costs, you get to 1,556 if you use the numbers that I used before. And so that's how much it will cost on a monthly basis, plus I don't know, whatever else that you would like to pay for, like maybe going out, shopping, whatever else that you would add as a monthly expense for yourself. But it's around 1,500. Another question that I usually get is, okay, but how much am I spending as a student? So I've also tried to put together like a rent thing. Did I just say rent? I just put together a budget based on like my own expenses. So for me, for rent, I am paying around $500 so per month. That's how much it costs for rent. Then I pay $55 for utilities, which is your gas, your hydro, your internet put together. And then I spend $28 per month on a phone plan. It's a very cheap phone plan because I don't actually have access to data, I think. Yeah, it doesn't bring data. So that's why it's cheap. And the reason I got this phone plan was because I used to live on campus, and so I was always like around an area that had Wi-Fi, so it was just pointless for me to pay for data. And then for food, I put $200 as well. And then transit, obviously, because I'm getting charged per term in my student account by my university. I didn't really put it down, so I didn't have transit because it's not a monthly fee. Though you could break it down into a monthly fee, of course. And then there's the medical expense, which is the health fee, which is $75 per month. Then I put $100 for entertainment, so your Amazon, Netflix, whatever else. And so I'm sitting at around $958 already, which is definitely cheaper than the average budget I was just talking about, but that's just because I pay less for rent. So yeah, so those are like the numbers when it comes to being an international student, specifically in Vancouver, in Burnaby, in Coquitlam, because those are like the areas I've lived in. It's pretty expensive, but I think the most expensive expense, or the highest expense, is rent. So if you can find a pretty affordable and cheap housing option, the rest of the other utilities and bills and expenses you face will be manageable. It's just trying to make sure that you live in a very nice but also very affordable place, which is what I've sort of tried to do throughout my 4 years at university. That's all I had in terms of what expenses to look out for if you're going to be an international student, whether you're coming in fall or you're already here and you're just trying to figure out your cost of living and maybe you're struggling at the moment. So that's what I did, and I hope this video was helpful. And as usual, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment, and give this video a thumbs up. Otherwise, I'll see you guys on the next video.
Get away, nigga, get away. I ain't try hear what a nigga say. Headed for the top, I ain't know how to stop till the world go pop. I've been steady watching these fools talking shit like it's a daily news. Beefing niggas got petty moves. When I make them lose fatty juice. Nigga, yeah, on a mission. Like I'm flying to the moon, dog.